FIFA 20 official gameplay is here. In today's video, we're going to be going over the 10 things that you may have missed, and I want to slow things down, break it down, and really open up your eyes to some of the new features that EA have added. So if you enjoy any moment of this video, please do leave a like, and if you are needing game codes or anything game related, head over to g2e.com, use the code Fuji on that site to get cash back on every single order. And if you're wanting to keep up to date with football news around the world and be club specific, in the description of OneFootball, go and download the app. With all of that said and done, let's get into today's video. So here we go, boys, let's kick off, and I will be watching this with you, so I want to slow things down and just bring stuff to your attention. But the first thing that I noticed as soon as I was watching this on the EA live stream, the touches. Everything looks fantastic, really authentic. They've worked on really that full control over the ball, and I believe, right, because they've programmed so many different touches and that 360 control, there may be, this is just an opinion, there may be less rebounds on Ultimate Team just because there are more ways to take these touches instead of having that like stop-start motion, which is what FIFA 19 has always been about. But looking at this first highlight, one thing you may have missed, the control time tackle. Now Fabinho, he went in for that challenge because I saw the power bar go up, and although there was still a rebound, it was controlled, and it didn't look like a lucky one that's gone back to Fabinho. It was more to do with the defensive player was favored in that position and he's come away with the ball, which is awesome. And that is one of the major problems with FIFA 19. Even when you get in a tackle, there are just rebounds all over the place. Another one right here was the shot. Now, as you can see, the body angle of Benzema, he's arrowing down, so he's gonna dig the ball. Even though it was a green time shot, and he got it on target, it wasn't one of those where he's taken it upon himself to slow down the play, open it up, and hit a finesse. Like, I remember the Mata goal, this was years ago, I think Tim Krul was in goal for us, and Mata just pinged a beautiful finesse shot, and it flew in. And that's the kind of stuff that I hope that they bring to the game. Like, finesses, yes, they were overpowered, but if it makes sense, like you've got yourself into a good position to take the shot, and you're rewarded with a green time finish, then I don't mind that so much. So yeah, that just goes to show that if you're rushing your play a little bit and you're not taking the proper shot on, I think that that's going to be a problem for you. Another one coming up here, I believe it's probably going to be a slide tackle, is it? Oh no, this one right here is a beautiful first time touch, and that's something that I wanted to highlight, especially because on FIFA 19, when you've been in these areas of the pitch like going towards the byline, a lot of the time your player will just stab at the ball or just like take the touch and run off the pitch because you don't have that ultimate control. Now with Salah, someone with like a 3-star weak foot, and players like, well, Messi, Insigne, like the dribblers of the game, I wonder if they're going to be so good this year because of how many different ways it's been programmed into the game to control the ball. Now that one is to highlight the La Croqueta. It is still in the game, but from my research and looking at some of the skills that have been pulled off in head-to-head, though, keep that in mind, it's a lot slower anyway. But the heel-to-heels, the La Croquetas, it doesn't seem that overpowered, and I think that's a good thing, right? A skill move, when you perform a skill move, it's not so much the skill itself that's going to beat your opponent, it's the acceleration that you drive out of it. So if it does come down to a lot of variables with the player that's performing the skill, then I don't mind that as much. But if it means like everybody on the game can do this Iniesta skill, whoever has a 4-star set, it's just not realistic at all, and it does kill the game. Now, one thing you're going to be seeing later on in the clip are the chain skill moves and the error, and then shortly after that, I think it was Cacho who did it on the live stream, which is awesome because we got to see it on display. There's another one where he does it towards the left-hand side, and the way around it, which I was speaking about on stream, if you are someone that does change skill moves, if you take the touch and then do the skill moves shortly after or straight after, then you're gonna get around it. So that is like probably the exploit on FIFA 20. I don't believe that you're really going to be able to like chain it to the point where it's so overpowered, but if you're playing at a high level and all of these pros, they will find a way to maybe a new skill move that is brought to the game that they can abuse or combo that with, let's say, a bull roll or a hill to hill, there will be ways around it. But if you want something just in short right now, I think that if you're picking up the game on FIFA 20 and you're in early access and you're someone like me that's been doing a few too many like first time fake shots, bull rolls into like a hill to hill, then take the skill, take straight away a touch and then do it again. Otherwise there's going to be a lot of errors. But I'm going to let this play out just so you get an idea and a feel as to how the game is playing. But everything, even the boots, that was one thing that I noticed, which is a little bit weird for me to say. Like the boots and the socks, just there's something about it. Maybe it's the movement with their feet that I've seen and I can pay attention to. But it all looks rather realistic. And even Virgil van Dijk, you know the way he passes in real life, like he really does lean back and makes it apparent that he wants to put that control behind the ball to play it back to the keeper. He's even got his own like unique build. He looks like a lot bigger than the other just standard like builds on the game, if I've explained that properly. This one here, do we have another clip coming up, or have I just broken it down? No, that's beautiful control from Salah, but then the defensive side got rewarded because of so many players around the ball. And then we have a shot from Bale here, which is interesting because I thought that was going to be like a good finish, but maybe it was the fact that he was off balance or he needed to take another touch to be able to get like proper connection behind it, or maybe Bale's just not very good on the game. I don't know. Some of these stats though, don't pay attention to them. Like they had Virgil van Dijk as an 85 overall, which no, he's going to get like at least 90, possibly even a 91. So maybe with the way the players are performing, it doesn't truly reflect how they're going to play on Ultimate Team. But we've got some nice build up here. It's a shame that they didn't just do a 1v1 because you could pay attention a little bit more to the AI and how they're reacting to the game. Whereas 2v2, it's a little bit messy and you've got players running all over the place. Now that, I believe, was an RBA pass. And I wonder if they're trying to tone down on that and force you to play like a proper cross in those situations. I really don't know. It's getting like hands-on with the game. Now this one here is fantastic. Now I've always liked to put in a slide tackle, but it is so random and too much RNG involved in FIFA 19, 18, 17, but Fabinho, perfect. Not only did he time the slide tackle properly, but he got rewarded for it and it was clean, controlled, and he comes away with it. I think that's going to be a major improvement on FIFA 20. Now, it's not to say like every single tackle that you're going to put in, you're coming away with the ball. That's just not realistic and it would ruin the game. But I've always thought though, if you're at a competitive level, it shouldn't really be realistic. It has to be arcadey to the point where if you've read the play, you're there to make a challenge, you come away with the ball. Because if RNG is stopping you winning like hundreds of thousands of pounds, then it's just not right. But then your opponent is in the same position, so really it's just a flip of a coin. But that's what I feel that's holding the competitive scene back. Now this shot right here, another thing that you may have missed, the first time strikes. Now on FIFA 19, they were stupidly overpowered. It doesn't make any difference if you took it on the volley, if the ball was bobbling over to you, or even, well, on the ground, let's just say. Any variable with the first time shot, it's going in the back of the net. You had really good consistency. Now with that Bale strike, or whoever took it, the ball was bobbling, and at the time when the ball bounced, he took it on the half volley, and of course there's an increased shot error there, so I like that. I hope that there is still a way that even if the ball is played on the ground and you hit it first time, it's not as accurate, so we'll have to see what EA change. But that's showing signs of just a few more options when a ball has been taken, like a shot has been taken, and there are different like trajectories and all of that. So we're coming towards like the end now, and one thing that's going to be highlighted are the failed chain skill moves, which is just really important for the game. Like I did chain skill moves, but I only did that because of how defensive people were, and you need something to edge your opponent, otherwise it's just part of the bus and it's too difficult to get by. But another thing that I did notice as well that's coming up in the clips is Matip, right? The defensive side, he had Matip controlled, but he didn't make a challenge. He was just really mirroring the attacker's every move. And then when the attacker tried to play a pass through, it rebounded back to him, and then he was able to pass it off. I think that was the bail chance, if I'm not mistaken. Or it might be coming up here, so pay attention. But that's something that I believe could be the difference of trying to force the defensive player into the challenge. Now, would you agree with that? Do you think that an opponent should be rewarded even without making a tackle? Or see, I don't know how I feel about that right now, because he was in a good defensive position. He had Matip controlled, the ball went into him but rebounded back. Now if Matip took it upon himself, or the defender, to go and close that down, make a challenge, I think that he would have had more of a success rate to come away with the ball. Would you like that in the game, or would you prefer it if you were just mirroring? Because if you mirror, then that means it's a little bit more like park the bus and you're not committing and there isn't as much space. So I quite like that. I quite like those changes. But what you would have seen, it's all completely stopped now because I keep going on about random things. What you would have seen though, the failed skill moves over on the right hand side, both the hill to hills, and then the one on the opposite side of the pitch where he does a hill to hill, takes a touch, does the Iniesta skill, La Croqueta, and it's being performed with ease. So I think that with some of these changes and just the way the game looks, I'm really excited for FIFA 20. And even if it is slowed down, if you've got more control over the ball, I think it is awesome. So hopefully this video has helped you out and highlighted a few things that maybe you didn't know, as well as the one to watch cards that were announced. We've got Pepe, the recently transferred Pepe, Hala at West Ham, Joelinton, Newcastle, that I'm going to buy on the RTG like day one. And the last one is Wan-Bissaka, that's obviously gone to Man United. So FIFA 20, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And if I've missed anything, I've given you 10, but if I've missed anything, drop it in the comments and just give me your thoughts towards FIFA 20. But thank you for watching, leave a like, and I will see you on the next one. Team out, peace.